Hello everyone, this is naZzz, and on this tutorial we're going to be talking about CFG and HUD and everything that you guys need to get started on making frag movies. Alright, on here on my desktop I have three folders called CFG, Resource and Scripts. These are going to be available for download somewhere, I guess, on ZP site, and these are going to be the folders, the CFG, for you guys to start making frag movies. Alright, first things first. First of all, come here on the Steam icon next to the clock, right click on it and go on Library. Then on Day of Defeat Source, right click and choose Properties. Then on the General tab, go to Set Launch Options and type in the following: -novid. Let me delete this and start all over again. Okay, we're gonna be typing -novid space, don't forget the space, it's very important, -w for the width, space 1280, that's 1280 pixels for the width, space again, -age for the height, space 720, that's 720 pixels for the height. And for the last one, hit space again, -window, so the game will open in a window mode. Alright, hit OK, close this and close the Steam window. Okay, next thing, you're gonna be going on the Start button here, then on Windows 7 on the search panel, just type in regedit for the registry editor. Hit enter. It opens up. Then we have basically 5 options here. On the second option, HKey current user, just open it up, go on software, all the way over down there, find Valve, open Valve. Then on the source you have the .dot folder. That's all the registries for the game .dot. Okay, you can hit delete again. Just send it to the recycle bin. Don't worry about it, because every time you open a game, a new folder with new registry entries is created, so just don't worry about it. Now you can close this editor. Alright, now comes the fun part. I advise everybody that's making frag movies to have a .dot shortcut folder here on your desktop, because you're going to be accessing it quite a bunch. So make sure to have a shortcut here on your desktop. Inside your .dot folder, when you install the game, comes the CFG and the resource folders as a default. If you open the CFG, there's only a config file here. You can tell it to open with the notepad. There's a bunch of codes there. I don't want to read all of them. So you just, if you have your gaming CFG, I suggest that you just remove it and place it somewhere else, like the desktop. Don't put it on the desktop. Well, I couldn't, because I have another CFG, resources and scripts folder here. So I'm just gonna delete them, CFG and resource, hit delete, send them to the recycle bin. Come here, select all the 3 folders and drag them to the .dot folder. Alright, on the CFG folder, if you open it up, you can see there's a bunch of things here. On the auto exec, just tell it to open with the notepad. There's a bunch of console commands here, and the only ones that is going to be important for us are the binds here on the bottom, all the binds from F5 until F12. Okay, the binds from F5 until F9, it's going to be used to create the standard capturing when the player is actually playing. That's why the host frame rate is 180. It's a lower frame rate because you won't be going to make a lot of editing here. You actually gonna just be making some standard cuts on Vegas or whatever editing program you're gonna be using. So all the host frame rates here are 180, And on F10 and F11 the host frame rate is 400. That's when I use it to capture the smooths that I like to make. I actually use a higher host frame rate here because I like to make lots of slow motions. The higher the host frame rate you have, the slower your slow motion can be, you know, something like that. Here in case, for example, when the host frame rate is 180, you're gonna be taking 180 screenshots every second of capturing. So that's a whole bunch of screenshots. In the case of smooths, that's 400 screenshots every second you're gonna be making. So if you want to stretch your piece of footage inside Vegas, you're gonna have enough screenshots to fill up the gaps on the slow motion things. Alright, okay, so next command here is crosshair scale 0, because I like to add the crosshair later on your editing programs. The volume is quite important to have the same volume for all your binds, because if you have different volumes you can have problems later on to synchronize the same volume for all piece of footage that you have. And the last command here is start movie. Start movie is actually the main command here for you to start capturing. Then you just make sure you can rename this. These are my standards. I actually got this from Alfie, and these are my standards that I like to capture. Just make sure the names are on a hierarchy so you don't get lost afterwards, and you know which clip you're gonna be rendering on VirtualDub after all. Okay, and the last bind is F12. It's when you every time you start movie you have to end movie, and F12 is to end movie, and the host frame rate goes to 0. That's the standard when you are playing. The host frame rate is 0, and for the sake of it, the FPS max goes to 101. Okay, with this said, let's get started with the fun stuff. Just close this. Just make sure that CFG resource and scripts are here in your .dot folder. Just close it and open the game. Alright, with the game opened, first of all you come here on options. On the video tab, click on and advance it. Just make sure everything here is on the maximum levels for the higher resolution images. On the model detail, texture detail, and shader details, everything is high, very high, and high. On the water detail, make sure reflect all. Shadow detail high. Color correction enable. The anti-aliasing mode, I like to use 16 times CSAA. You can either use this one or the 16 times Q. That's Q for quality. That depends on the video card that you have. Actually mine supports it, but I'm not going to use it because sometimes the ragdolls, the models inside the game gets laggy, so I'm just going to use 16 times CSAA. And the filtering mode, the anisotropic, goes to 16 times also. The motion blur, I've been using disabled motion blur for quite a while right now, but it's up to you if you like enable it. If you want to enable it, just go right ahead, but I'm just gonna leave them disabled. The high dynamic rampage, it's the amount of bloom that you're gonna have inside the game. I just leave it on bloom if available, and use bloom effect, just tick it, use bloom effect when available. And vertical sync, disable it of course, because it's gonna look horrible if you enable it, at least for me. I don't know why. Some people actually use this enabled, like someone I know here. And the multi-core rendering, just disable it also, because when you have different lighting from interior and exterior scenes inside the game, sometimes it gets a little blinking lights with this enabled. Alright, just choose OK and apply. After it applied, alright, choose OK. Now we're all set to start capturing. With the CFG that you guys are going to be downloading, there's another bind here inside the game that you just hit F2 and the demo UI window opens. When you don't have this bind, you have to actually choose Shift F2 to open this. It also works here. So for the lazy guys, just hit F2. Now load a demo. I have a demo here from K-Force, my Belgium friend, and we're gonna be using this demo. Okay, first things first. First of all, when you're gonna be start capturing,
the attack started.
Every time the demo has to be running. You cannot start capturing with the demo paused, because the audio and the video is not gonna be synced. So make sure you click resume. Then the demo is running. Second thing, don't forget to close this demo UI window, because otherwise it's gonna be showing up in your capturing. Just close it. Actually, he's gonna die here. I remember it. So I'm just gonna fast forward to a point that he's gonna have a funnier death. Just leave it on 100% every time you're gonna start capturing. Don't forget to close again the window. And remember, on the auto exact, the binds that we had from F5 until F9 to capture standard things, standard footage. So I'm just gonna hit F5 right now. Now everything goes low because it's capturing 180 frames per second of demo here. Just gonna leave it for a few seconds for the sake of the tutorial. There's a nade going there. Alright, I think that's enough. I'm gonna hit F12 and everything is gonna come back to normal. See, on all speed and everything. That's the funnier death I was talking about. He dies with an enemy nade. Well, we're done capturing. Just hit F2 again, the demo UI opens. Stop the demo, close it, and quit the game. Okay, come here to the .dot folder on the shortcut on your desktop. And there you have it, all the screenshots starting from a clip. That was the name of the bind from F5 that we had. It's a clip underscore, then start scouting with four digit numbers. Sometimes it gets bigger than this. I actually had captures that went almost over to 100,000 screenshots. That's quite an absurd, but I almost had it. Let's go all the way over down there and see how many screenshots. Oh, almost an even number. It's 601 screenshots. So if you divide this by 180, that was the binds that we had, you have the exact seconds of capturing, the exact number of seconds of capturing that you had. And also with all the Targa screenshots, it actually saves on Targa TGA file. And along with this, you also have a WAV file. Almost every time it's the last file that you have on the .dot folder with the audio from the capturing that you just did. And on the next tutorial, we're going to be talking about VirtualDub. It's a little program here that you put all these screenshots together in a big AVI file. So you're going to be using that AVI file on your editing program to start editing frag movies. Alright? Actually, if you click here, you can actually hear the capturing. See? If you open it, there's 3 seconds of capturing. Alright, I hope you guys learned a few things about this, or if you have any doubts, I guess you can post it here on ZP site. And I see you on the next tutorial. Bye.